until I check. Okay, here we go. So let me see if it is what it is. So, okay. Good evening, Aboru Oboye. So it's just me, Fasewa, this evening. I don't even know where to look. I'm gonna look at you, bro. So it's just me this evening. My sister Fanisimi is actually out having a healthy good time at the Frozen live show. It was important for us to get you guys some content for this week. And we had a really good request. I believe her name was Cindy. Forgive me. I'm horrible. I am the worst at remembering people's names. Hey, sis! I miss you. Give Brina big kisses for me. Hey, baby. So as I was saying, there was a young lady who had commented on one of our past episodes, and she requested that we do an episode on Iwa Pele. So for those of you that don't know the translation of Iwa Pele, it means good character. Iwa is character, I-W-A. So there's a verse of Ifa, a story in Ifa that I'm very familiar with that really resonates with me and I love. I think I've said many times in one of the past episodes that while I practice Isheshe now, I started in the Afro-Cuban practice. And when I received it's called Ikofa, which is when you receive, for women, it's like one Ikin. And you get an Odu, a sign, when you go through those ceremonial rites. So when I did mine was Ogbe, Alara, Ogbe Toi, if you practice the Afro-Cuban system. I don't even know. Anyways, yeah. So with all of that being said, there's a really amazing story within that Odu that I'm going to share with you. So let's talk about Iwa Pele. So first of all, I need to tell you that I'm sorry, I don't have the actual literature in front of me to read. So I'm going to tell you off of my memory. And what's cool is my mentor in Ifa, Yeye Bayumi Falade, she actually told me this story when I first went to visit her and stay with her in Phoenix, Arizona. We had an amazing time. Y'all, when you can sit at the feet of your elders and just get all the good information, and they're amazing storytellers as well, do it. So in any event, here we go. So let me see if I can do it justice, Yeye. So in the story of, in the essay Ifa of Ogbe Alara, there's a story where Orunmila was looking to take the hand of a young lady named Iwa. Iwa was a well-wanted, hot commodity. She was that it factor. There were many kings, many men that wanted to marry Iwa. And Orunmila was like, I'm gonna get that girl. I'm gonna get that woman. And so he went, and as far as she was concerned, he was the most fitting. And so she said, listen, I accept your hand in marriage. And her father was the king as well. Her father was a king, I should say, because there's obviously many kings. But anyways, so she said, I will come with you. I'll be your wife, but I have a condition. And he said, absolutely. I'll meet your conditions, whatever you need. And she said, I require that you pay me attention. You can't neglect me. As long as you don't neglect me, I'll give you whatever you need. Now, Iwa was not only like a well-desired woman just because she was the daughter of a king, just because she was royalty. Like, she was a powerful woman. And this is why, she was desirable and she was beautiful as well. So Orunmila was like, done. I got you. Like, not neglecting you. That's all you require? That's cake. Wow. Orunmila and Iwa get home, and things are going well for a little time. And then, because, again, he brought on this beautiful wife, this powerful wife, and he knew that because of having her as a wife, that she was going to bring him blessings. So, of course, his business as a babalao started picking up. So he's getting busy. He's got clients. He's like Ebo. He's like divination. He's getting it in. And he's forgetting about Iwa. So Iwa says, Baba, listen, nudge, nudge. I told you, when you came to ask me for my hand in marriage, my requirement was I'll be here as long as you don't neglect me. And he was like, okay, you're right. So I'm sorry and I'll do better. So he didn't do better. And she said again, Baba, listen, I'm not good. You're neglecting me. You take care of the city. You take care of other people's towns. You travel and you go here and you go there, but you're neglecting me and I'm not happy. And he was like, I hear you. I'm sorry again and I'll do better. So the third time comes around and she's out. He's like, she didn't even tell him. He went out one day to go do some ebos or something in a different land and she bounced. So Oromila, being who Oromila is, he gets home and he's like, where's my wife? Like, a king must have kidnapped her and taken her. That is clearly what must have happened. So Itha starts going around to all of the different towns, knocking on motherfuckers' doors, and it's like, right, bro. So he's knocking down King's door. He's like, I know you got my wife. Give it to me. He's like losing his shit, right? Now, Iwa done went back home to her daddy house. She done went back to the king's house. She done went back to the palace, okay? So Oromila's just like, there's no other possibility other than she done been snatched. That's the ego that is rocking with him at this time, right? So Eshu, those of you that don't know, Eshu is the right-hand man of Oromila. Like, they work hand in hand. I'll save that story for a different day. But just know for the purposes of this story, they like this, okay? So Eshu sees Oromila going around losing his shit. So he's like, yo, come here. And he whispers in Oromila's ear. He was like, Iwa's back at home with the king, her daddy. So Oromila's like, what? And Eshu's like, listen, I see you losing your shit. I need to tell you, this is where she is. So Oromila goes to the king's house where he first went to take the hand in marriage of Iwa. And there she is, and she's like, yes. And he says, you know, I left town to go do work. And I come back and you're not at home. I'm knocking down motherfuckers' doors thinking you've been violated. And you're here back at home. What's the deal? And she's like, I told you that if you neglected me, I would not stick around. I had one requirement, and that is that you pay me attention and that you don't cast me to the side and that you don't neglect me. And you did all of the above. And I came to you and I kept telling you that you were doing it, and you kept saying, I'm sorry, and you kept saying you were going to fix it, and none of those things happened. You just kept doing what you were doing. So she's like, so here I am. And he was like, oh my God, I get it. He's like, I get it, point taken. You've made, like, it's driven home. Please come back home with me. And she said, no, I told you I'm done. I told you this was it. You've made your bed. I'm staying here at my father's house. So she said, because Iwa being Iwa, she's like, but I tell you what, if you ever need me, like, as a friend, I got your back. Just call on me. And that is the pact that was made from that moment forward. She did not go back as his wife, but she's like, yo, I'm here. Like, you need a friend? I got you. So there's a couple things going on in the layers of this story. Of course, there's obviously Iwa as the wife. Iwa is a woman, Oromila is a man, and them in a romantic relationship. So there's, of course, the aspect of, you know, when you enter into a marriage, there's a contract made, and the terms of those contracts are laid out, and you follow those terms. And if you don't, then, you know, someone gets to make a decision either way on what it is that they want to do. In this case, Iwa, which also means character, was like, these are my terms, and if you don't meet them, then I'm out. So she bounced, and she stood her ground. She had her boundaries. She knew what they were, and she stuck firm to them. And she still wasn't like nasty about it. She's just like, we're not going to argue. We're not going to do this. I told you, and I came to you, and I gave you many chances, and you chose to do what you did. So it is what it is, but I'm not going to be mad. But if you need me, I'll still be there as a friend. So there's that. And there's him just like having to face it, like, because he knew as a grown man, as a grown Arumale or whatever we're calling it, that he entered into a contract and he gets to honor that contract and stick to his word. And it's just one of those things of, damn, that sucks. I didn't do my part. Now, on the aspect of the definitions of Iwa is character, right? So when she says, if whenever you call on me, I'll be there. This is kind of a, I don't know what the correct word would be, but it's kind of a, is it a metaphor? It's kind of it's kind of a metaphor for, we're always on the search for good character, because in that instance, she honoring her word and doing her part as a wife, and also honoring herself and saying, you know what, I have my boundaries and you're not going to just be shitting on me. That is of good character. She was meeting the goal. If we go by Aristotle's definition of what good is, and which is meeting the goal, bad is going against, in opposition of the goal, or not doing what it's supposed to do, whatever we're going to call it. But in any event, it's kind of a metaphor for, we're always on the search for a good character. Where it's not something that just always comes naturally. It's real easy to be stuck in shit and be in a shitty mood and do shitty things and have shitty thoughts. That's real easy to do. But to constantly strive for, and every day wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to be the best version of myself, and I'm going to be the best version of myself to people, myself, whomever, my community, you know, that takes a little work. It takes self-digging, self-introspection is what I'm saying. And it takes being open to feedback, being open to point blank period, look at yourself and be receptive when someone tells you, yo, you're bugging and I'm not cool with your offenses. And being able to say, you know what, so this may not bother me, but I see it bothers you, and then deal with that person properly. Iwa, in this story, she was not necessarily called Iwa Pele. Her name was Iwa. In Ifa, there's good and bad in everything. You can have Iwa Pele, which is good character. You can have Iwa Burupu, which is bad character. And you'll hear a lot of times, especially in male-female relationships, you know, it'll be like, everybody know, keep the happy wife, happy life. You know, however you treat a woman is how she's going to respond to you. If you go at her sideways, expect to get 5 times sideways. If you go at her with, you know, all the love and affection in the world, that's absolutely what you're going to receive back. And so in this case, I would like to say that she just, Cindy, when you asked me to give you a show on Iwa Pele, I feel like she acted in absolute Iwa Pele through and through in this story, because of her stance of honoring the contract and also honoring herself. And hey, like, it doesn't get any better or good. And you see, also to learn from past mistakes, to learn and better create good character. Ashe, bro. Yeah. So, sorry, I'm horrible at this, you guys. I got to get better at keeping my thought and also being able to be interactive with you guys. I'll get better. I'm sorry. But in any event, we get to, like I said, honor our commitments, honor our contracts, be a person of our word, be the best versions of ourselves. When we initiate to Ifa, Orisha, Egungun, Ogbe, all of this is done with the, oh, thank you, sis. All of this is done with the purpose of elevating, evolving. If you were doing any of these rites, these rituals, you should not be staying the same rut that you started in. And if you are, there ain't nowhere to look but at yourself. Don't go saying your ceremony wasn't done right, or your godparent was this and that. Like, I am 1,000% positive all of us are just going to have to look at ourselves. Because there are more than one ways to do ceremonies. I don't care what area, what country, what town, what city you're in. And also, nobody's ceremony should be cookie cutter, because we're all different, right, sis? We're all different people with all different oris, with all different destinies. None of our stuff should look the same. We're all unique. So let our ceremonies be unique as well. With that being said, stop pointing the finger. If you are not evolving, and if you are not growing, and if you are having struggle with accessing good character, that's a you thing. You know, God knows, listen, I was a motherfucker. Like, don't get me wrong, like I've never been like an evil person or anything like that, but like I had some work I needed to do. I still have some work I need to do, but I am definitely by no means the same woman, the same person that I was when I entered into Ifa to today, back in 2013. Like I leaps and bounds. Lewis, you know, tell him, bro. Audrey, you know too. You damn near, yeah. You was around. You were right there, you know. So big difference. And that's because I take the time to do the work. I do Ifa. I did all my Orisha. I still got some Orisha to do. And I go to therapy. I receive feedback from friends and family. That shit sometimes stings, but you just gotta like take it in and look at it. So anyways, Iwapele, strive to be your best self so that you can have a happy existence. And thank you, Booski. I love you. Thank you so much for that. So that you can have a happy existence, so that you can teach your children how to live their fullest expression of a happy existence. And so that it also channels through your ancestry. I know for me, like my mother has not initiated to Ifa, but there's something kind of magical that happens in the line. All of my sons and myself have initiated, and I'm telling you, like it's even affecting the rest of my family that have, in a positive way, that hasn't initiated. It's beautiful, and it's again not just doing the initiations, the rites themselves, but constantly reinitiating by searching for Iwapele. So I hope you guys like the story of Iwapele from Ogbe Alara. And Yeye Fayumi, I hope that I did the storytelling justice. And I hope you guys have a great evening. I'm so happy that my brother and sister tuned in. I love you guys. And Boru Aboye. Love you, sis. Come see me. Thank you, baby. Okay, good night, everybody. How do I do this? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, I don't want to send. What am I doing? Oh my God, this is horrible. Okay, end video, yes. Good night, everybody.